Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, ArchieLuxury channel, Paul Pluta channel. Guys, I want to talk to you. It's very important that you guys subscribe, like, and tell your friends about this channel. We're trying to boost the Paul Pluta and the ArchieLuxury channel, and we can't do it without your support. We need your support. It really would help. The other thing is, guys, we can't survive on Google Ads alone. Google Ads is very, it's hard to survive, guys. So look, paid reviews. On the Paul Pluta channel, we do paid reviews. These paid reviews keep me full-time on YouTube. Also, you could sponsor me on Patreon. Patreon lets you pay a small amount of money every month. It's kind of like a tithing, except that it helps creators stay full-time. You sponsor me on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. I'll send you secret pre-release videos. I'll send you secret Patreon-only videos. Plus, I'll send you links to other videos that other people have made that I thought were really good. So, if you really want to keep me full-time on YouTube, consider sponsoring me on Patreon. The other thing is, guys, if you want to send me a donation, these are greatly appreciated. They're greatly appreciated. I earn a couple of bucks per 1,000 views, which is hardly anything, considering I'm in a niche topic. Guys, if you really get benefit out of this channel, consider sending a few bucks. It's something that keeps creators like me full-time on YouTube. Now, guys, let's get on with the show! Showtime! Hi guys, Paul Pluta on the Paul Pluta channel, and today I'm doing a paid review. This is from Stu, and he goes, also Arch, your thoughts on the future of collecting decent watches. In this technological age of smartwatches, will even so-called safe Rolex investments lose their value in the future? I know you don't have a crystal ball, but your thoughts would be interesting. Thanks again, Archie Stu. Very interesting question, and I gotta tell you the truth, Stu. I actually have thought of this very dilemma. I mean, we live in an age where wristwatches are, you know, that they've gone through a full circle. You had the quartz revolution, where everyone was sure quartz was going to kill wristwatches. Then mechanical watches started bouncing back, and it is extremely interesting when you consider what could happen. And I mean, wristwatches, you know, if we look at pocket watches, that was sort of the precursor to wristwatches. They were, I mean, pocket watches, are they in fashion? No, they're kind of out. And I mean, pocket watches, you know, before World War I, if you had a wristwatch, it was seen to be a bit girly. You weren't a proper man unless you had a pocket watch. So, in World War I, that all changed, because when you're in the trenches in World War I, and you had to pull out a pocket watch, you lost time and you could be shot. You could be shot by the enemy. So, wristwatches allowed you to glance at your wrist and see the time. That was seen as a step forward. Do I think mechanical wristwatches could ever go out? And the answer is yes, it certainly could happen. It certainly could happen. I think the important thing is, of course, is that I gotta be honest with you, it's pocket watches, you know, all this stuff, it can change. It can really change. I mean, will classic cars go out of fashion? Will, you know, it's a very tricky thing. I think the thing is this. In our lifetime, so I'm 45, I've got how many more years left? 30 to 40 years left. Probably there'll always be a market for wristwatches. But in another generation's time, maybe it could sink. I think that certainly could happen. I think fine wristwatches, I mean, you got to look at it this way. What do men spend their money on? And there's not much jewelry that men can buy. I mean, what do you really do? If you're a suave, sophisticated person, okay, so you got a lot of money. You buy a mansion. Okay, great. You buy, say, a holiday, a luxury penthouse or apartment. Great. You buy maybe a unit complex as an investment. Then you want an automobile. You buy yourself a big motor car. Okay, motor cars are seeing huge revolution. Maybe you buy a Tesla. Maybe you buy a Bentley, a Ferrari. That can change. The thing is, of course, is that then what do you buy? You buy yourself some nice clothes, and then you want a nice wristwatch to go with that for your lifestyle. So I think quality mechanical watches will always have a place. I mean, these big makers, you look at these big companies, Patek Philippe, Rolex, Omega, they spend a fortune advertising and keeping product out there, and the boutiques and that. So I don't think they'll die. They're very much an aspirational type item. I think, would it change? I think we're seeing already that wristwatches have gone from being a tool to tell the time, they're turning into like a fashion accessory. So I think with wristwatches themselves there, could they ever die out? Well, a lot of young people today, they don't have a wristwatch. You've got a smartphone. It tells you time, it gives you world time, it gives you absolutely everything you could really want there. So I mean, as far as that does go there, I would really be saying that, look, anything's possible. Anything's possible. Technology's changing, but I think in many ways, men like useful gadgets. What useful gadgets can we have? We can have, I mean, will pens die? Fountain pens, will that sort of stuff die? Could die. It definitely could. Is it going to die? Probably not. I think you've got to look at it this way. You've got to look at it and say, yes, things can certainly change. I think it's only a problem if you've got all your money invested in just watches. If that's the case, well, you know, I think in a balanced life, say you've got, okay, a normal person would have, say, a home. They would have, say, they would have an automobile. They'd have a few things. It's not just all their money is in wristwatches. So will it ever change? Look, the whole fashion tide can change. Pocket watches, they kind of died out, you know. Pocket watches are, there is still very, very valuable pocket watches on the market there. Yes, there is, but in the most sense, they're not as desirable as wristwatches. So I think anything is possible. But I would say that watches, I think, good quality mechanical watches, I think will hold the big brands. Look at these brands. Rolex, Patek Philippe, you've got Omega, all these brands. So many brands making watches, pumping out aspirational dreams. They're pumping out aspirational dreams. Very unlikely it just disappears. You know, I think they'll always be cool. They'll be a cool thing. I mean, there is no health dangers with well, none that we're aware of at the moment. Like, people used to have cigarette lighters. Well, if you don't smoke, you don't need the cigarette lighter. So that's kind of, that fashion changed. We used to have briefcases, but then, you know, the women folk, the feminist left-wing women folk, they didn't want us carrying porn around with us anymore. They didn't see any need for it. So that got changed because we listened to them. But watches, it's one of these things, it's just so cool to have. Let me tell you a story. a good friend of mine who's absolutely loaded, in my opinion. He was in Switzerland for Baselworld, and he said he saw this guy. It was a client of his, opened up a Swiss bank account, put many millions away. He walked into a Patek dealer and he just said, I'll take the New World Time. I think he bought it in rose gold. That's the 5230. So he tucked away several $1 million and he bought himself a 45,000 US, 60,000 Australian dollar wristwatch. That's cool. It's something cool he can buy and wear. I think that's going to stay there. That's, you know, that sort of thing, to have a... Of course it's ridiculous. Wristwatches are ridiculous. Why would you spend 20,000, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 on a quality wristwatch? That is a very good thing, but it's... I think there'll always be people with money who want to buy something for themselves. We can't really wear, you know, big jewelry or rings or diamonds in our teeth. Well, you can, but it's not kind of it's not considered acceptable. Whereas you can have an expensive watch, and if you don't like it, take it off. So I really do think, I think in our lifetime, I think there will still be desired there. Could it change? Of course, anything can change. Anything can change. I mean, what's to say the world doesn't move out of the solar system, and instead of it being 24-hour time, it became 25 hours in a day, or it became 30 hours in a day, because we've lost the solar, the gravity's changed and we're out of it. What's to say that happens? Then the 12-hour cycle would just be worthless. It'd be completely useless. That could happen too. So, you know, there's many factors at play there, but I think for the most part, I think we're pretty safe. I think we're pretty safe in our lifetime, and in a balanced man's life, a couple of quality wristwatches, that ain't gonna hurt. If it makes you happy, it puts a smile on your dial, why not buy some wristwatches? Why not have a beautiful wristwatch? It makes you happy, makes you proud, makes you, you know, it's just a nice thing to have. We gotta have things in life that make us happy. You want things that say, hey, I like to have a nice watch. I mean, is there anything wrong with a bit of happiness, being happy, being, you know, and I love it. I like looking down at and seeing the time. Oh, I gotta go somewhere. I gotta go. You look at the time and you're off. You know, it's interesting. I don't know if you've noticed, with people who don't have a watch, they don't seem to ever be on time. They got these iPhones and things like that, but they don't seem to be able to be cordial. Maybe it's the new generation. See, already there's a generational shift. So, guys, I want to hear your comments. Do you think wristwatches could ever just be completely out of fashion? And remember, whatever goes out of fashion always comes back in, doesn't it? I'm ArchieLuxury. This is the Paul Pluta channel. Tell me what you guys think of that.
Dear F169bbs.com posters, I just wanted to congratulate you on having a YouTube celebrity, luxury goods guru and travel expert like ArchieLuxury on your site. He's a masculine, sexy and successful man. Be proud to have him on your side. The last bastion of free speech in the interweb.
Okay.